hello. Look, the lights are dimmer today. We are on Instagram. Where are we today? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube live in the house. So, hello. Welcome back. Happy Monday Night Live. Forgive the lighting. It's been a long day, and your girl was like, I do not want to put extra lights on today. So hopefully you can see me. I can see myself, so you should be able to see me pretty good. But we are going to get started tonight so that we can get in and get out. Hopefully your week has been doing well. This is what the last week of September, the first official week of fall. I know I mentioned it, I think, what, last week I think it was, or maybe the week before. I was like, fall is my favorite season. I absolutely love it. It's just amazing. It's an amazing time. The colors are amazing. I always look good in fall colors. Give me that mustard yellow. Give me that olive green, that burgundy maroon. Like, yes, those are my colors. And so, look, speaking of that, I got my little mustard yellow head wrap on today. But yeah, I love fall. You may even hear extra noises today, guys. I just can't help it. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I just need to be in the zone. So I literally have the fan going, my windows up so I can, see the breeze. Like this is a nice, relaxing environment. If I'm gonna work and I'm gonna be an entrepreneur and I'm gonna have the hustle and the grind going all the time, I'm gonna be comfortable. So this is really nice. I can kind of relax and just chit chat with you. Tonight's gonna be pretty informal. I want us to dive into the topic, but I want us to just be casual. We friends. We cool now. As always, if you have questions, comments, concerns, feel free to throw them in the comment section. If I see, actually have fixed my system so I can see the comments if they come through before my challenge. But I did. Hopefully you guys can still see me. It looks like my connection's acting up. Hey. I see you guys coming in. But yes, if you have a comment, question, definitely throw it in the comment section. If you are watching live, say hello. Let me know you are here. Like I said before, we're gonna have kind of an informal day. It's a nice day. I don't know about you guys, but it's nice here. Like I said, I got my lights down low, my windows open, the fan going. Lemonade next to me. So this should be a good conversation. And I am sorry if for some reason this is going in and out. On my end, I'm seeing things happening. But we're going to go ahead and get started. For those of you who do not know me, hello, I'm Corey Fonville Foster. I am a speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm a certified business coach. And I'm also the CEO of iRock Marketable Business Solutions. We're based here in Virginia, USA. And we're all about helping small business owners, especially service-based small business owners, so coaches and consultants just like yourselves. We help you do business but on a shoestring budget. Our specialty is marketing and sales. That is where we like to sit. We do a little fundamentals, a little bit of mindset, but if you are looking to start, run, or grow your small business as a coach or consultant, then you are in the right place. Tonight, what are we talking about? Tonight's topic: sowing success with systems. Sorry, y'all know it for fall. I picked like I picked like naturey things. So we have like harvest. Now we have sowing seeds of success. Cool. Cultivating efficiency in your coaching business. And this is through systems, right? Everything's about systems. One of the biggest things I feel that keeps small business owners from being able, especially new small business owners, from keeping us from moving from this like feeling like we're grinding every day, just trying like this uphill battle, from that place to a place where things are kind of working on their own and things are getting done and we're able to kind of package what we've done and then move on to new things. I think the disconnect for a lot of small business owners is the fact that we don't have systems in place. Like we may have them in our head, right? I know most CEOs have something like thoughts in their head of how they want things to go, how they want things to run, how they want things to integrate. But the issue is that nobody else can see it. Nobody else knows how to do it. And so then you end up having to do everything, right? If you can't effectively communicate or put into a system or a framework a way in which others or platforms can work with you to make your vision a reality, then really it doesn't even matter that you have this amazing idea, this amazing plan in your head. It needs to be something that can be implemented by systems of like software or by people. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight because I think that you may know you need help, but you may not even know where to start. So we're going to see what that looks like. So we're going to talk a little bit first about strategic planning. You got to have a plan, right? Because if you're saying, okay, I know I need systems, but what systems do I need? Well, not every business needs every system. Okay, maybe currently right now you have no employees. Well, you don't need a payroll system. So somebody might say to you, oh, you need these systems, A through Z. But if your business is made in such a way that it's not necessary, then you're wasting time trying to make that system, and for lack of a better word. So in order to navigate what systems you need, you really need to start with the planning process. And it doesn't have to be planning from a sense of I need system A, B, and C. It's what are the areas in which I need support? What are the areas that I'm doing a lot of the same things that I'm having to, maybe you're writing an email and then every day or every couple of days you're finding yourself writing that same sort of email. Maybe you have no onboarding process for your clients, right? You're doing one-on-one coaching, there's no onboarding process, but you've been doing the same things over and over, but there's no concrete process. You're starting everything from scratch. Maybe you've been writing blog posts, but you're really struggling to connect that to your social media content. You're struggling to connect that to longer form video content. You're struggling to get it posted in a timely fashion. Like all of these things can be helped by systems. So instead of you sitting here thinking, okay, I'm just going to write down every system she says, think about what problems are you currently seeing in your business, or what areas would you like to automate or to have so that they're plug and go, right? You know that you do this all the time. You just want it an easier way so that you're not constantly starting from scratch. Then those are the systems you need to implement. And as you grow, new things will arise that will need you to put systems in place for those. All right. So we don't want to overcomplicate things. What do you need and what or who can fix it? Simple enough. All right. So let's talk systems, software, and automation. So there are some things that people, like individuals, can help you do, like assistants, copywriters, web developers, etc. All kind of things. But then there's also platforms. And I actually was talking with my assistant, I think this past weekend, or maybe I think we were working on my book and I was talking about it. But as a new business owner, especially on a shoestring budget, sometimes, we may want to have that assistant. We may want to have like this room of employees, but we may need to invest in platforms and software first. Because even if you get the assistant, if you don't have software or platforms that you're using to support them, then they're also not going to be able to be optimized. So let's talk some systems. And I'm going to go through some. Like I said, all of these will not apply to every business, but I at least want you to be aware that they exist and what they're for. Because if it sounds like something you may need, then add that to your list of, hey, I need to get a plan in place for this or that. And this hopefully will help you. So a CRM system. It's a customer relations management system. This is a system you put in place, and it's a software you can purchase. But it's how do you communicate with your client base? And as a coach or consultant, it's important to have some type of software that supports that. Now, what takes place in a CRM system? They're different depending on which one you get. I will give you throughout this some of my favorites if I have some for any of these platforms or any of these systems. But for CRM systems, I love HoneyBook or Dubsado, very affordable. And for both platforms, you can have forms, right? Inquiry forms or interest forms, whatever you want to call them. But a form that someone can fill out on your website, social media, or wherever, a landing page, and it will automatically input that person into your system. You can also set up automated emails to go out to say, thank you for submitting this request. Here's a link to book a call. You can also schedule, let me get a sip here, schedule within these CRM systems. So now the person has been interested, they've seen you somewhere, they've completed a form. So now all their information is in your system. So they get their name, their email, their phone number, maybe their business name. You can even have more things that they fill out, such as their biggest challenge that you can solve, whatever the case may be. But they filled out the form, they've been invited to book a call with you, they've been put on your schedule, reminders are automatically sent, which is really nice. After you speak with the person, you can send them a proposal or a contract or an invoice or a service agreement or a brochure or another form, whatever the case may be. All of those things are held in that CRM system. And the cool part is is that it looks really professional, because on your side, you have the pick of the litter and the different things you can send to that potential or current client. But on the flip side, your client has their own portal, right? Their own portal where they can see the payments they made, the emails they sent, the documents that they've downloaded, right? They can keep track of all of their information without people having to hit you up and say, "Hey, when is my next payment due? Can I pay it now? Can you send me the invoice?" A lot of things are really great because you can just click on things and they automatically can be sent, which is really nice. Most CRM systems do come with templates, which is really nice. They'll come with contract templates. They'll come with invoicing templates. They'll come with brochure templates, which is really nice. So if you're not super savvy in this area of like designing or putting together different pieces of material that go with your business, it's nice because the CRM system at least gives you a place to start. If for some reason maybe you have all this in a Google Doc, a Drive, whatever, I will say HoneyBook. I don't know if they still do, but I'm pretty sure they do. They have like a one-time, I think it's called a concierge service, where you actually can give them all your stuff, like your contracts, brochures, whatever, and they will input it in the system for you. One-time thing, which is nice. So if you're transferring systems, or if you're starting from scratch, but maybe you were doing it someplace else, just not in a in a really organized way, they can help you put everything in place so that it'll integrate really well. In the CRM system, you also can track progress. You can mark projects as complete. You can archive old projects, and it's really great. You need one. CRM system was a big game changer for me in my business, and it really made it easier to manage a lot more clients and keep track of things. I was sending out invoices back in the day through like PayPal, and it was like, oh my goodness, like I'm having to search, when is this due, and do I need to remind to send something out? It was a mess. So this is really great, and it keeps track of everything. So people that have been with me for years, I can even go back and see their past contracts and past invoices and past communications, past uploads. Everything is held really nicely within that system. And the system travels with me. HoneyBook actually has an app that you can put on your phone, so that maybe you're out and about, you can still see and communicate with your clients through that system. You need an email system. So CRM systems do have some email capabilities, but you need an emailing system that will allow you to batch send emails, separate your audience based on how they interact with your business, be able to test emails, schedule them out, formulate them. A lot of emailing platforms also do landing pages. Some even do a little e-commerce. Some have website capabilities, and the list goes on and on. But you, as a small business owner, need to be leveraging your email list. You need to be able to see the analytics. You need to be able to see. So if you just threw something out through Gmail, okay, you sent it, but you don't know if somebody actually opened it. You don't know if they clicked to view your call to action. It's a mess, right? An emailing platform is great because you can schedule these emails. You can set up campaigns where multiple emails get sent over a specific amount of time. And then you can also monitor the analytics, how many people opened it, how many people clicked, when was the last time somebody was in your email list. Because some people say, I got a 10,000 person email list. But when they really look at their analytics, they might only have 10% opening. Well, then who cares that you got 10,000 people on your list? If only 5% are opening emails and none of them are clicking your call to action, so they're not converting to sales, then you're wasting your time. So you need an emailing platform. Some of my favorites are GetResponse is probably my absolute favorite. MailChimp is okay. It's okay. You got ConvertDesk, you got ConvertKit, Flowdesk. If you're really into techie looking things, HubSpot is okay as well. It's not my favorite, but it'll do. But those are all great emailing platforms. And if you're in our private community, and I think I've mentioned this before, there is a guide tab in the private Facebook community. If you go in there, you can actually see my affordable resources list. And a lot of the things I'm talking about today, they actually have a little bit of information about some of my favorite platforms there for you. All right, some other systems. An accounting system. How do you manage your money? Right? Maybe you got a bank account and you're just looking at bank statements. You really want more detail than that. You want to know what payments are part of your overhead that you're constantly spending. What are some one-time things that are coming out? what do you have, like, as far as how many people have already paid, how much money do you have promised but not yet paid. You need all of that information. So you do need some type of accounting software. I will say that within Honeybook, they do have reports, expense reports in there, but they're pretty basic. You can do something like, my brain is dying for a second. Let me think. QuickBooks. There we go. QuickBooks. But I will say, if you get QuickBooks and you're not familiar with like a financial platform, I do suggest you doing. Typically, they'll give you a free call when you set up your account, just to make sure that you understand how you need your account set up and how to get to reports and how to utilize the software. And that really goes for all of these softwares. Don't get a software that you can't use. It's great to say that you have it, but if you can't actually use it for what you need, then it's wasting money. So an accounting software, project management tools, as your business grows, as you start developing new products, having launches, developing new assets, what have you, you need a project management tool to help you keep track of where you are within the project process. A project management tool I absolutely love that I've used for years now is Trello. Is Trello, one of my absolute favorites, and it's free. I use it with every single client, every marketing client, I should say, that I have, and I even use it for myself to manage my projects with my team. It's absolutely amazing to be able to um, put different projects in different and they're called boards, but put different projects inside of a board, to be able to break those projects into smaller pieces, to take those smaller pieces and make checklists that you can check off. And all this information is getting shared with your team. You can even highlight different team members to look at different parts of projects. You can put due dates, reminders. It's absolutely amazing. And they have visual capabilities where you can put like graphics and things. You can attach documents and things like that. So you can literally see all the pieces in one place versus having your documents over here, your videos over there, your graphics over here, the wording over there. You can even leave comments for each other. You can put activity updates. You can describe a task that needs to be completed. It's absolutely amazing. I will say, if you're a business owner and you're developing products, services, or even having events, Trello is going to be a great project management tool for you. There are tons of others out there, but that's by far one of my favorites. And like I said, it's free. You can also, if you sell any physical products, so that's merch. Maybe you sell shirts. I'm actually wearing one of my past client shirts right now. Shout outs to Dr. D. Um, and her company's called Educators Moving On. I love wearing a good shirt from a company. But yeah, so if you sell merch, that could be shirts, cups, hats, whatever. Or even if you're selling like maybe planners, books, what have you, you do need a place to keep track of inventory, whether it's inventory that you have physically on you. Maybe you are doing different events and you have your books that you're taking. You need a way to track your inventory and sales. Or maybe you actually have stuff in a warehouse, or even on Amazon. You need to have a system that you can go to say, okay, what are my sales from different categories? Like if you have different products, what are my views? How many people actually looked at it? How many people viewed it but didn't purchase? How many do I have left in stock? Maybe you need to order some more from a vendor. You need a way to track those things. I am not a product-based business, so I don't have tons of inventory management systems. I work with service-based businesses mostly, but there are some, and most of the people who I work with who have books utilize Amazon, and Amazon has some really cool reports that you can print out to keep track. Obviously, it's not an issue of them making more product for you. It's more a concern of you monitoring the sales and things of that nature from Amazon. Some other systems, HR and payroll. If you have team members, you need to keep track of paying them. But more so than that, because I think that most people realize that, right? But when it comes to HR and payroll, you also have to be accountable for what you pay, because you got to report that on your taxes. That's the part that we don't talk about. Like, you can send somebody a cash app, but the issue is, how do I keep a good record for when I have to go to tax, pay taxes, or my employees got to pay taxes? Because most people I know, when they do a 9 to 5, do not want to wait till the end of the year when tax time comes to pay the government. They want that stuff to come out before they even get their check, So you need to have a process in place that allows you to collect the appropriate documents, to house that information for those documents, to track payroll, to ensure that it gets out, that can connect with banks or what have you if people want direct deposit. One of my favorite payroll systems for small business owners is Gusto, Gusto. It's absolutely amazing. I've been on both sides of that, and I like it a lot. So definitely check that out. But there's plenty of other payroll systems. I just want to say, just keep detailed records. One for yourself, but also again, you don't want your employees or freelancers to not get paid and not have the deductions or withholdings that they want to have. So just be cognizant of that. There's a lot of information that goes into it. I'm not an HR specialist, so I'm not going to pretend to tell you all of that. I'm just telling you for the basics. Gusto is really great, and I do know that they have a support team that can help you. I was doing a job for a client before, and we were having issues with some paperwork, and they were really great at stepping in and supporting her to make sure that my paperwork was right and that it was going to be good for taxes and everything was going to be fine. And that's what you want. If you're not an expert in that field, you want to pick a software that has that support so that they can help you. That's why I don't recommend things like PayPal, because yes, you could pay people through PayPal, but if you've ever tried to go to talk to their customer service, then you know that's not going to make you happy, right? It's going to stress you out quite a bit trying to deal with their customer service, because it's not great, because that's not what most people utilize their platform for. All right, so that was HR. So appointment scheduling, again, as a coach or consultant, you want people to be able to get a hold of you. And I know one of the things that used to bother my soul when I started business was the fact that somebody would want to talk to me. Maybe they would DM me. They'd be like, "Hey, I would love to talk to you when you got some spare time, maybe this week." Cool, great, you're excited. Yeah, 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 definitely, for sure. First of all, you got to say what time zone you're in, because everything is virtual these days. Hey, I'm Eastern time zone. Okay, cool. I'm Pacific time zone. All right, well, I can do maybe Tuesday between 2 and 5, Wednesday between 6 and 8. It was like you give them the whole list, and then they got to go look at what you send and then convert the time to their time zone, send it back, and hopefully by the time they send it back, you haven't filled that spot. Then you got to say, okay, well, let's meet on Google Meet. Here's a link, or let's meet on Zoom. Let me make it was just too much, y'all. It was too much. And again, this is why I say, if you notice that something's kind of driving you bonkers, or you're having to kind of do something the hard way or the long way or over and over again, that's when you need a system. Because once I got a scheduling system on board, it was so nice. People will say, "Hey, can I meet with you?" Absolutely. Hey, here's a link to my schedule. Book for any time that fits your needs, and I can't wait to talk to you. That's it. That's it. And then people can also share that link. I've had people reach out to me and be like, "Oh yeah, such and such sent it to me." Amazing. Glad to have you. And the cool thing about an appointment scheduling system is not just that they can get on your calendar. A lot of times, actually, if it's a good scheduler, they can also connect to your platform of choice. I prefer to have virtual meetings. So it can connect to Zoom, it can connect to Google Meet, it can connect to a few other places as well. I use Calendly, but I've had people that use other softwares, but that's by far my favorite. It's affordable and it's pretty decent. Their customer service sucks, I'll be honest. If that matters to you, just know that. But they're a good and affordable product. But like I said, I connect it to my Zoom and my Google Meet. They also do phone and in person, so you can put an address if you had like a physical location where you do meetings. It allows people to pick out of those choices, allows people to connect it to your calendar to pick. If you have team members that also take calls, they have a team function where they can get on your team member schedule as well. There's loads of settings for that. If you are doing a group meeting, it allows people to register for a group as well, which is really nice. And then it sends reminders to you and to them, text and email reminders, and you can set it to send follow up or prior emails if you have maybe some information you want them to have beforehand or information you want them to have after. You can mark people as no shows if you don't want people to be able to schedule again. The list goes on and on. It's a really, really great comprehensive tool. You can set up different types of meetings. Maybe you're a coach, but you also do counseling, but you also have like coffee chats where people want to collaborate with you. You can have different types of links for different types of meetings as well. So it's really great. And I probably only touched the surface of what they can do. But like I said, the biggest piece is not having to go back and forth with someone about how do they get on your schedule, how can they talk to you, because just imagine you on the if you were on the other side of that conversation, you would be like, oh man, I don't want to do this, like it's too much. Or a lot of times when that happens to me now, I'm like, they're new or they're not very professional, I don't want to go back and forth. Just get on my calendar, because if somebody doesn't have a calendar, I'm like, hey, just get on mine and we'll just figure it out, because I don't want to have to keep track of that. I want it to be seamless. When people book with me, I don't have to be involved at all. It literally pops up on my calendar. When I go look at my schedule for the day, it's there. I see their name, their email. I also have put in questions. So, say they want to meet to get some marketing support, it'll ask them those questions that I need to know to be able to really make sure that conversation that we're going to have is fruitful, because I can do research beforehand. I can also have my mind right for the conversation. It's absolutely amazing. So, again, if you're a coach or consultant, you need to have yourself an appointment scheduler. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but some other ones to keep in mind are document signing platform. You want to make sure that people, sorry, whew, whew, excuse me, whew, that was a sneeze from deep down. But you want to make sure that people are able to sign contracts. Um, Back in the day, we had it that we would have to send somebody an email their document. They would have to like print it or pull it and make it into a PDF, whatever, and then sign it some kind of way, then re-upload it and send it back. Find a way. There's plenty of places like DocuSign that will allow you to create a document, and then somebody can virtually sign. And you've done this by now. It's 2023. You've gone to a place where either you type your name in, or it lets you like scribble something, or hit a check box and it says this is the equivalent of you signing it. Yes, you want to protect yourself legally. So make sure that you are getting things signed. And there are lots of platforms for that inside. And I will kind of backtrack a second. Inside my CRM, which is Honeybook, it does have the ability to have people virtually sign. So I don't tend to have to purchase an additional signing platform. So when you're thinking about what you need, I will suggest that you find platforms that do more than one thing to keep your costs down. But other things to think about: social media management platforms. We use a scheduling platform called later.com. I absolutely love it. There's also Hootsuite and a whole bunch of others. Canva even has a scheduling tool now. I believe in GoDaddy, they have like a very simplistic scheduling tool. Also great if you already have GoDaddy, then hey, that would be something you could utilize for marketing your social media, utilizing your social media. If you sell things like e-commerce things, right? Maybe you're selling digital products or what have you. You need a place for that. I personally use Kajabi. I've had people use Teachable. I've had people use Thinkific for like virtual courses. You can also I've had people on Stripe, so I'm pretty sure you can. Stripe, Kartra, all of those are great. Again, it depends on the amount and what types of products you are selling, but you can collect funds and people can get their digital products that way. A lot of not software, a lot of websites do have an upgrade where you can get e-commerce added. So maybe you put a shop on your website and then people can pay through there. Just be cognizant. Make sure you're reading everything, because you got to look at how much it costs if people use their card. Um, is there an additional commission? One thing I love about Kajabi and Thinkific is that they don't take an additional commission off of your sales. Some places, when you sell a product, it takes that credit card fee, because that goes to whoever owns the credit card swipers. That's what I'm gonna call it. But then they also charge a fee per, like a commission fee for utilizing their platform. And I don't think that's necessarily fair. So with Thinkific and Kajabi, you pay a flat rate every month. And if you sell $1 million worth of stuff, after the credit card people get their money, the rest is yours. There is no additional commission on products, which is really nice, because that's more money in your pocket. And if you're doing enough of it, then you're going to pay that, whatever that small fee is. Thinkific actually, I don't think they have it anymore, but they used to have like a free plan where you could sell it to like 3 things completely free using their platform. I think now it's a very small fee to do that. So if you only have maybe 1 or 2 courses, that'll probably be a great platform for you to start on. All right, what else do we have? If you're doing funnels, click funnels, but also a lot of your email platforms will have simple funnel capabilities. But David Brunson did a great job when he made click funnels. People love it. There's also, I think Active Campaign also does funnels, but somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't played a lot in there, but I've heard good things. So maybe try them out as well. Let's see, payment processing. How are you going to get your money? We use our CRM, and I'm going to say that because I want to make sure you understand that multiple platforms do multiple things. But if you don't, you need to have a way people can pay, whether they're Stripe. Please don't have people paying through Cash App. I may be a little biased, but it just doesn't. It's not very professional. I don't care what nobody say, unless you're like at a vending event. But then too, you can have your Stripe, you can have your PayPal with the the readers and all that. I just think Cash App seems a little. Mm-mm-mm. But again, we have our preferences. But make sure you have a way to process payments. And then in this day and age, you also want to think about how you're going to be reaching out. You have your social media, you have your email, but also through phone. So through calling and texting, they have platforms that will allow you to use your phone, like use a different phone number, but it still goes to your phone. They also have ones that are completely online where they give you a phone number and a text number, and you're able to send out batch things there. So just keep that in mind. You may or may not be at that point in your business ventures, but benefit to you. Um, if you're just sending out reminders for meetings, like I said, um, Calendly has that in there. Sorry, I'm trying to think of all these platforms at one time. But all right, so we kind of dove deep in that again. If you're in our private community, I have tons more resources and I have them outlined by type. Definitely check it out in the guide section. But let's move on out. All right, sorry about that. Hopefully we're back. I got kicked out for a second. But I was saying is that we just talked about software, right? Apps, platforms that you can use, but also within and without those platforms, you need to have processes in place. Because, say, for instance, you do have an emailing platform, that's great. But a lot of people have them and they sit there. They're not sending out emails. That's because they don't have a strategic process for doing that type of work. And that's when your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, come in. These are things that you have in place. So, systems, right? Written systems that you have in place from how you do get from point A to point B in the process, right? So you get a new client. What is the process from getting the new client onboarded to being able to go ahead and do their sessions with you? What is the process from getting a cold lead to a paid client? And the list goes on and on. So I'm going to just quickly go over some possible SOPs that you may be interested in putting together. And again, don't make things super complicated. What's in your mind right now, what you've been doing, write it down. And then as you get more people or software supports you, incorporate what that looks like into that SOP. That's why it seems so complicated because you're like, oh my god, I don't know how to like make a process for this, but you're already doing it. What you're doing is what you need to write down because again, your assistant, your VAs, your other employees, freelancers, they are not in your head. They have no clue what you are thinking, and in your mind you're like, well, I don't get why they can't do this. Well, that's because you never told them. You never gave them a cut and dry process. You're sending them one-off calls or one-off text messages or emails saying do this, but there's no clear-cut way. And even if they're getting it done, I bet they're doing it in a way that makes it take a lot of time. So now you're probably paying them for time that's being wasted because there's probably a better way that you've done because you've been doing it this whole time to get it done. And maybe you don't even have it. Maybe vice versa. Maybe they're coming in, but they have years of experience. Ask them what was the process that you did when you worked with your last client. Let's incorporate that into this, right? So, what are some SOPs as a small business owner, especially a coach or a consultant? What should you be thinking about? We got onboarding, we got offboarding, and yes, you do need to offboard people. People will leave your business for whatever reason, and sometimes they leave on good terms. I've had several clients who have just grown out of my business, right? They started off needing certain supports and they got so big that they had their own in-house team. I don't like trying to be in people's in-house teams because then they just start needing things like at the drop of a hat, and that's not what we do. We're about being affordable, and when you need people like this, the prices go up. So, but you do need offboarding, which means you're asking people how they enjoyed their experience, feedback they could give you, testimonials. Can they share, a referral or two, whatever the case may be? You want to offboard them. Inventory management. What is that system? We talked about needing an inventory system, but what is the process to actually go in, look at it? Okay, so because you're thinking, well, I got the system, but all right, what inventory are we keeping track of? What are our big sellers? What happens when I look in there and see that the inventory is low? What do I need to do then? How soon do I need to do it? Do I need to report that to you as a CEO to let you know so that we can place a new order with our manufacturer? Those are the steps in that inventory management system. Customer support. What happens when somebody has a comment, a question? What happens? When they want to put in a support ticket for your course, what happens? Are you going to personally respond to the email? So, how fast are you going to do it? All right, we're going to respond. Our company policy is 24 to 48 hours during the week, 48 to 72 hours on the weekend, because we tend to not work on the weekends. But that's our policy for communicating. And there are some communication that I need to do as a CEO, and there's some communication that my assistant can do, right? So you want to make sure you have a customer support system, a communication system, your marketing SOP. How do you create that marketing content? How does that marketing content get sent out? How is that marketing content analytics being reviewed? How often are we reviewing it? And then how are we updating the system to improve on what marketing we put out? Because you have to think the marketing that you're doing day to day is not the same marketing that you do for an event or a launch, right? So you need to have a process for that. Because once you figure out how you can do a really great launch, you want to duplicate it. Well, you need to write that system down so it can be duplicated. Billing and invoicing. Again, how do you do your billing? Do you collect hours on this date? And do you send out the payments on this date for your billing, your HR, your payroll? Our invoices used to all be due on the same day every month, every person. I believe it was it the 7th or the 10th of every month? It was like everybody that day. We realized that was a mess because people would come in on the 29th of the month. They would have their initial payment and then they would already be due for their next payment on the 7th. It was like, no. So now everybody is just there once a month and we're done. But yeah, so how does billing work? How does invoicing work? What if they're late, right? Is there a grace period, like with mortgages, or rent? Like, is there a grace period? What is it? What's the penalty after that grace period is over? That stuff needs to be in writing because if you go and somebody bought let's say a $10,000 product from you, right? And then they decided to pay monthly. You said, okay, over 10 months, they paying $1,000 a month. And then the payment's due on the first. The first comes and goes, right? They ain't pay. They ain't pay nothing. The second comes, the third, the 10th, the 20th. What happens? Do they have a penalty fee or can they pay that payment and the next payment the next first? You have to have that process outlined. That should be part of their contract that they're signing. All of that, those things should be in place. What is the process for viewing your financials? I hate looking at spreadsheets. I hate having to go into the system and look. It gives me anxiety. Guys, it's my cross to bear. So I told my assistant, hey, pull this information for me. I want to see it at the end of every month. If there's an issue, then let me know. Like, it's very simple. Because I want to see how much am I paying out normally with my overhead, what came up, because sometimes like we'll have a photo shoot that's not something we do every month. Sometimes we'll have events like this past weekend. We worked on my book, so we have a hotel fee, dinner fee, stuff like that up there. That's different than our typical. And then how much money's coming in because we have goals. What money came in from what way? That's important for us to know. So we have a system in place for reporting that to me as a CEO, because again, you're thinking, well, I just go look. Well, are you looking every day? Or do you want somebody to report that to you? Or do you want to pull certain reports? Because not every report is necessary. A lot of these financial platforms have tons and tons of reports, some of which you will probably never look at. What reports do you need pulled to help you make the informed decisions you need to make as a CEO? What reports need to be pulled at tax time? How early do you need to get with your tax preparer? Those are kind of things you need to know. Data entry, how's data entered? Maybe you're doing lead gen, like lead generation. How do you want to monitor that? And the list goes on and on. So, like I said, we don't have time to go into every possible SOP and every possible software platform, but these are just some things to kind of get the wheels turning for you to realize that what you're doing is great now. You're probably doing most, if not all, the work, but you're going to want to grow. And in order to grow in a way that's not going to make you scream and pull out your hair, you need to put systems in place, right? Write down what it is you're doing. Pretend like if you've ever worked a job where you're nice enough to write down what you do in the process so that when the next person comes, they don't have to start from scratch. That's what you're doing for yourself. Do it for your business. Look at what software you're already utilizing, how you're utilizing it. Make sure you're optimizing how you're utilizing it, and then plan out, especially now. We're doing a lot of planning with our clients for 2024, and we're looking and say, okay, you done bought all these software. Are we using them? How do we need to use them? Do we need to plan some things around utilizing this stuff that you don't pay for? Can we get rid of some things? So look at your systems. Look at where there are loopholes where you can really tighten up and have an SOP in place to support you throughout your business journey. And remember that everything that we do really in business can be adjusted. So as your team grows, as your needs change, adjust your SOPs and adjust your platforms. All right, I know that was a lot today. Sorry if there's any tech issues, but hopefully you got a lot out of it. And remember, if you're in the private Facebook community, go to that guide section, pull your affordable resource list, and have a ball. I probably will update it in January because loads of platforms come out every day. And let me know too, if you have a favorite platform, go ahead and put in the comment section the platform and what it's used for, because I'm always adding to my list and checking out different things. I just got, I was with a meeting with a, I guess we'll call it a colleague, but they were telling me about an ad. It was not an ad. We'll call it an ad platform. An ad platform. We're thinking about adding ad services. Don't tell nobody. But we were looking at it. It's called Espresso, and it's really cool because it allows you to look at some really cool reports of your ads and also set up ads through like Facebook and Google. It's pretty cool. But yeah, a new software that I had no clue even existed. And then let's not mention all the AI software that's out. That's going bonkers. I have like tons and tons of info on that. So again, just be open to the fact that yes, these are going to change, and that's okay. All right, with that being said, guys, I am done for tonight. I hope that you got a lot out of this. If this all seems completely overwhelming, or if you just want some support planning out your 2024 and kind of looking at what you have and how you can better utilize it, I did put for everybody but Instagram. I gotta do better, y'all. Y'all let me know how I can help y'all with these links. I think I just need to give you guys like a link tree so you can just go to the link in my bio. But yeah, you guys just check the description. I put a link to a strategy call. Let's talk and see how we can make sure that you are optimizing the platforms you're already paying for, and then brainstorm if there's any additional platforms or processes you need to put in place to ensure that your business can scale the way you want to. All right, guys, well, have a great rest of your night, and we will see you back here next Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a great day.